Hi guys, welcome to learning to play one of my favourite songs of all time, which is Letterbomb from Green Day. What I'll do is I'll show you a tape of me playing it the whole way through, then I'll run through all the individual bits and see if you guys can get the hang of it as well. We start with the intro, which is a pretty familiar sound. It starts with a sound similar to this, goes. Right, that's pretty straightforward. We want to start by doing is making a power chord on the A string, 7th fret. But what we're going to do here is we're going to take out the middle finger, take off your 4th finger, leaving just those two, and to make it easy, just replace your pinky with your 4th finger. So you end up with 7 on the A, and then you rest your 1st finger on the D, so you get no sound from the D. So you get 7 on the A, nothing on the D, 9 on the G. And what you also want to do is rest your 2nd finger, just make it touch the E, so you get no sound from the E as well, so you can kind of be free with the strumming, knowing that you're only going to get sounds from A and G. So you start by strumming that. slide everything down 1 fret. Slide it all back up. Pretty straightforward. And you play them for, I can't remember how many times, but it starts to. Pretty straightforward, so it's just. That's the intro, and that riff is used quite a few times throughout the song. I'll tell you when, so you can fill them in as you go. Next up is the kind of intro to the verse, and it's also used for the bridge. The interlude. So after this, you go. After this, it goes something like this. So from you finished on the 9 and 7, what I like to do, optional, is to hold my finger down on the 7th fret of the A and D and just slide them both down to the 2 before I start. So 7 on both, slide down to the 2. And that 2 begins the intro. So it goes. The first one is 0 on the E, 2 on the A, 2 on the D. Then that slides up to a power chord in the 4 of the E. Then everything moves down a string, so that's on the 4th fret of the A. And then we go back to the E string but onto 5. So for all that it goes up to 4, down the string, should be pretty straightforward, and that concludes the whole intro of the song. Right, so moving on to the verse. Which starts with something. It starts with the same. Again, so it starts with the 0, 2 on the A, 2 on the D. But this time we're going to jump up to the 5 on the E. Slide this all down to the 2, back up to the 5, and you play an E chord, which is 0, nothing on the E, 2 on the A, 2 on the D, and 1 on the B. So carrying on with the verse, you go from the E, jump up to the 4th on the E, which is a power chord on the 4th of the E. So once we've done the start of the verse, move up to, like I said, a power chord on the 4th of the E. Then you move everything down a string. So you're just going from a power chord on the 4th of the E to a power chord on the 4th of the A. Into that again. And this time when you go back down to the E, you go to a 5. Okay, so then from the 5 we're going to slide everything down to a 2, up to a 7, 5, 2, 7. So all slowly. sure that's clear. 5 power chord, 2 power chord, 7 power chord, 5, 2, 7. So if I play that whole verse through. That's what it should sound like. Don't be afraid to comment and make your comments if you think that's wrong. I'd love to hear other people's opinions on my tabs, and give me an email as well. The email's at the bottom. Let me know if you think anything's different about that. Right, so you've played the verse, that particular riff, twice through. Now what happens when you come to the end of the second one? So you've played that pattern twice. When you come to the end, let's say you get to... he repeats that 3 times, so it goes. And all that is just 5, 7, 5, 3, 7, 5, 3, 7, 5, 3, 7. So if you do that verse once, you go through it again, you go. So really slowly. 5, 2, 7. That should be everything for the whole verse. That brings you on to the first bridge, which is awesome. And that starts with, after you've done the... It goes like this. Now that's again pretty straightforward. It's all power chords on the first E string. Shouldn't be too much of a problem. Start with the power chord on the 4th, and you slide up to the 5. Do that again. Now we're going to go from 4 to 7, and then we go from 5 to 7. So all really slowly. 4, 5, 4, 7. 5, 7. That brings me into the chorus. Okay, pretty straightforward. That's interesting because the bridge is actually different. There are 2 bridges in the song. The first one is that one. And I'll show you the second one because I think when they play live, or even in the recorded version, they do a different bridge second time round. So I'll show you that after the chorus. So onto the chorus, you've just kind of finished the bridge, and then it goes. We go back into the intro after that. So with the chorus, pretty easy to get through from the bridge as well. The end of the bridge on a power chord in the 7th of the E, all you have to do is drop it down. The chorus starts with a power chord in the 7th of the A. Play that 5 times. Drop it down to the E, and that goes down to the 5 for 10. You do that 3 times, and then it comes to That's Not My Burden, and after it goes That's Not My Burden, that's not my burden, then you go and do it again. So it's just a slide from 7 to 9. So it goes. That's the first time. Play it again twice. And on the third, after the 5th, you slide 7 to 9. And you stop on the 5th. On the 4th time you do that, you stop on the 5th, and then it goes, there's nothing left to analyse. When it goes down, you get slide. There is nothing left to analyze. There is nothing left to analyze, and then it goes back into the intro. So that whole chorus through slowly is. Again, if that's complicated, don't be afraid to drop me a question, drop me an email, or just even write in the comments so everyone can see. Any way to make that more clear. So after that chorus, we jump back into the original chord that I showed you, which is the power chord missing the middle string, resting on the E and the A, don't forget, on the D, don't forget, so all you get is the D and the G. It slides down to the 6 again. Twice, and on the second one it goes virus cures itself, and where will we all go? And then that again drops down into the rest of the intro. So it's basically running through the song again. And on this second one, you hear him go, "Don't look back." And that's the cue to jump into the second bridge. Now this second bridge is more interesting. I prefer it to the first bridge, but they start with that kind of one, but this time is a bit different. It starts with a power chord on the 7 of the E. But you start with your finger off the E string for 1 beat, and then you get back into. That was pretty poorly shown, let me show it again. It's only 2 power chords, it's pretty straightforward. You just got to be a bit more careful with your first finger. You start with the 7 on the E. Start by strumming it all without the first thing. And then here you go off, slide everything down to the, and then you hit a power chord there. And then again. So again, just, if you want, you can kind of change the angle of which you strum the string to make so you just get the E. for the second one. Like I say, some people think that they use that for both, some people think they use the original for both, but I think they do the first bridge for the first bridge and then that one for the second bridge, which makes a bit more sense. And then that jumps back into the chorus, which we know is... Here is interesting, you carry on with the 5 and then you do the same as the second half of the intro, which goes like this. So to wrap off the song, we're playing the same as the second half of the intro, which is 0, 2 on the A's, 2 on the D, up to a power chord on the 4 of the E, down a string to the 4 on the A, and then up to a 5 on the... Do that twice, and then after you've done that, it just finishes with the original chord of that riff, 0, 2, 2.